Okay, so we left off up here with these planets. So what I want to do up here is put some stars all over. I'm going to put stars everywhere. So let me take my white paint and my scruffy brush, this one right here, take some white paint, make the white paint real liquidy, and start doing some splatters. All right, because the splatters are going to represent stars. And I like stars everywhere, so. So I'm just going to put my stars in right now. And if it's not stars, it's going to be snow. It's going to be whatever the hell I want, when I want it. Just kidding. You guys are like, okay, Angela, calm down. So I'm just going all over the whole picture. You guys, I'm down here at the bottom of my picture where you guys can't see, but I'll be back up there in just a second. Just putting in some snow down here, or snow or planets. Who the heck knows? Up here at the top, it's definitely planets or stars. Okay. So we got that done. Let me see what you guys are seeing. Very good. Okay. So, coming as close as I can. All right. We're going to use some white paint with no water. And we're going to start putting in some stars and shooting stars right here. We'll start with this one here. With a little bit of white paint, you can make some shooting stars. Just 1, 2, 3 little flicks. And those are little shooting stars. Okay? That one did not turn out right. Okay, let's try it again. I think my brush is too wet. Yeah. All right. Let's do this again. Okay, so it's 3 little flick outs. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And yes, you can do this with a a fine white paint pen. But I'm going to do the same thing up here. I'm going to put my small shooting stars. But I think you get a more natural look with a liner brush like this. That's why I like to use the liner brush. Because then I'm making sure that I'm not too perfect. Stars aren't perfect, right? Okay. Then I want to do some shooting stars. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dot down here like that and then flick it out. And there's a shooting star. You can put as much shooting stars in your painting as you want. And there we go. How cool does that look? It looks like 2 shooting stars are just coming onto that planet. Fabulous. In fact, let's do some more shooting stars. Let me see how much of this come out just a tad bit. Okay, let's put some more shooting stars on this planet here. Let's make it look like it's being invaded by a bunch of shooting stars. Love it. See how we've incorporated this watch into this painting now? It was just a watch sitting there, right? But now we've put in clouds over it. We put planets in it. We've whitened it out around it to make like a little white glow around it. We've now thrown stars all over it, and now there's shooting stars being... So now it just looks like it's been painted right into the picture, right? Like it wasn't just sitting there. The next thing I'm going to do... I want to touch on it, and then I'll finish it up off camera. But this waterfall in the sky, I want there to be like water dripping off of it everywhere. So I'm trying to decide how I'm going to do that. Sorry, you guys, I'm thinking. So just in little sections, I want water dripping off because I don't want it to totally ruin the effect of the waterfall or the chandelier. I still want it to look like a chandelier, so let's just have water dripping off here and there. I think that that'll make it look really, really magical. Yeah, I like this a lot. Make sure I'm still in frame. Yeah. Especially we're going to have water dripping right here at the bottom of this. Dripping right over, and see, dripping it right over the bird, into the bird, makes the bird look like it's in the picture, not like we pasted it into the picture. So, always go over things, like right over things, with water, with whatever you're doing. If I had one of my girls that I drew, I dripped some water on her too. I'm an equal opportunity water dripper. Just kidding. Just the more inclusive you are with this work, like you should be with life, be inclusive, include everyone, the better off this is going to look. So there we go. That looks awesome. Talk about learning from your artwork. Be inclusive. Isn't that the truth? When you start being friends and including all type of different people in your life, you're going to live a really rich, fabulous life. Meeting all different types of people. I mean, how boring is life to stick with the same type of person? Good God. Boring. I want to live a rich life, a fun life, which is meeting different types of people. Not jerks. Fun, different types of people than yourself. Okay. So, you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just finding little opportunities of places that I can put this water in and then drip it off onto this chandelier. And I'm loving how it's looking. So, this is addicting too, because I'm just finding little opportunities of places where water can be dripping. And it's like addicting. I need to stop. Okay, so there's an example of the water dripping in the chandelier. Look how gorgeous that looks. So let me come out a little bit and show you guys how things are looking. Look how pretty that looks. It looks really, really pretty. Let's see if I can come. Let me see if I can come up a little bit so you guys can see better. There we go. There we go. Gorgeous. Isn't that looking pretty, you guys? I think so. What time do we have there? Oh, we have plenty of time. Okay, so I want to show you some other techniques here. Let me show you how you can turn that rose into a water feature. So this no longer will be a rose. This will be a water feature. And what I like to do is kind of trace little areas in the rose like this. And then these will be places that we drip the water from. Okay, right into there. So you're just tracing the shape of the rose. Will be a great place for some water drippage. Okay. That looks good. And then kind of bring this like that, like this, like that, like this, like that. Okay, So now we found little opportunities of places for water to drip. Okay, so now let's start dripping the water. So there we go. And we're going right here, we're going right over the beak. Right down into the sky. Guys, I just love creating these little fantasy pieces. These are like the little worlds I'd want to live in. I think that's why I like magical art or fairy art or fantasy art, because really these are the kind of places I'd love to live in. And I guess I kind of do if I'm painting them. Let's bring this water down. Remember, you don't want any of your water even, because water is never going to drip evenly. Okay, so this is how we're turning this rose into a water feature. And we'll do the same thing with this rose over here too. But I won't do that on camera. I'll finish that rose up off camera just so you guys can see. And as you can see, I'm not perfect about making this water, because you don't want to be perfect. The more imperfect you are, the better. The only rule I have for myself when I'm doing water or even snow is when I get to the end, don't have it thick at the end, because by the time it's going to have to hit the ground, especially water, it gets thinner, not thick, right? So I just think it makes it look more natural. Listen to me, I'm talking about what looks more natural, and I'm doing a fantasy world. If you want your damn water to be thick when it hits the ground, more power to you. You can make your water any way you want. Like, Angela, it's a fantasy piece. Can I do my water the way I want? Yeah, you can. As far as how I want my water and my snow to look, that's just rules I have for myself. You can do what you want to do. Okay. Oh, I need some more white paint there. And that's the one thing I use a lot of, is white and black paint. I use a lot of that. Oh, I'll show you another thing that I haven't done. If you want, another thing is, if you wanted to, let me just put some snow on the outside of these here. There we go. If you guys wanted to, you can, let me think, what the heck am I trying to say? You can put planets in here in the sky too, if you wanted to. There's just not that much sky left because I put so much stuff on here, so I want to see the sky, so I'm not going to put any planets in my sky. But you could put tons of these planets that I made in the sky. You could put a ton of clocks all in the sky and make all these planets, or just make planets on their own. Okay, so look how gorgeous that looks. Now we just turned a rose into a water feature. You can't even tell that was a rose from before. It looks like a water feature. Okay, let me see what time we got. Okay, I want to touch on different things here. You know what? I can go down here to the water and go ahead, because of how things are working out. Yeah, let's go down to the water. And let me put those splashes that I was talking about, like splashing the water up in here. I can see where things are going. So let's put a little bit of water into here. So there's a reason for these splashes to be happening. Okay. I'm taking my scruffy brush again and just flicking it up. Again, another rule I have for myself when I'm making these splashes is when I get up to the top, that you want it to kind of disappear and get more like pointy up at the top and disappeary at the top, more translucent. Because to me, that's how water looks. So I think it should get thinner as it gets up to the top. Not a point, but thinner and more translucent. So but if you don't want to do that, you know that you don't have to. But I think that looks more natural. And when you use a brush like I'm talking about, this this really scruffy brush, it makes it really cool. Now you can see I'm throwing a little bit of waves into the rose over here, which is going to be a water feature. But it's now, and also this bridge right here, I'm bringing water into this bridge, I'm bringing the waves, or these splashes, up into the bridge. So that makes this bridge come into the painting more, which is what we want. Right? Right. Okay. This was just a bunch of roses, a bunch of flowers, a strip of flowers right here before I did anything to it. So this right here is going to be a little mountain, and I'm going to put people on there. So I'm just going to put water on there. So let me just show you both of those. And we'll probably end it there. How much time do we have? 17 minutes. Okay. Let me see how close I can come in. See if I can come in a little closer. Okay. I do want to put a little bit of like snow here. So this is what I mean by snow. I'm going to make it a little heavier, the drips this time. Even here, I'm going to make this a lot heavier. And when you do it, don't try to be perfect with it. Get heavy-handed here and thinner in places. And that's going to really help it look like some snow dripping. See? Oops. Get a little heavier handed than you do with the water. Okay. All right. So now when we do the snow, like I'm going to start right here in the middle. When we do the snow, just make your V here a lot thicker, and then just kind of make your drips a lot thicker. Okay. And to me, it looks more like snow than just water. You can throw some small ones in between, which keeps things looking more natural. And if you think of another way to do things, and you're like, Angela, what about this or what about that? Do it. Put it on camera. Show us. Show us some new techniques for sure. I'm just showing you guys the ones I've learned. Or some things I've discovered. Okay, let's put some snow in through here. In part 4, I'm going to come back with it basically all finished, and we're going to glue in Jasmine together. And I'll show you how you put your character, or if you want to put a person in here, or an animal. And this is the thing, if you can't draw, then you can always you could always take a coloring book page, color somebody up, and put them in your artwork. Or you can add the magazine, take an animal and put an animal in your work. Kind of how I did this bird. Maybe that's going to be your thing in your piece. I could have stopped right here and just kept this piece just like this. We got a person, a place, a thing. And it's kind of, you don't have to follow that, but when I learned it from Dee Dee, it is really kind of nice to do a person, place, and a thing in your, or things in your work, because then it kind of tells a story. And the story is from whoever's looking at it, not necessarily the story that you're trying to tell. Or the fairy tale in my case. Because I know my work looks like a fairy tale, which is what I want. I never get tired of doing these because every one turns out different. Okay, just a second, guys. That's another rule I have for myself, is I don't like crooked water. So, like this water right here just went all crooked. Or not water. Water or snow. I don't like it crooked. Are you guys seeing it at the bottom? Let me widen myself a little bit. I gotta turn this for a second, guys. That's why I was going crooked, because if you're not at the right angle, you know how that works. If you're not at the right angle, it's like you start messing up. There we go. I think that looks really, really cool. Okay, I'll show you guys how that looks. Okay. So, let's see what the time situation is. Okay, we're at 22 minutes, so my camera's going to be turning off pretty soon. Okay, so I've shown you guys a lot of different techniques. So, let me just make sure you guys are seeing the whole picture while I'm talking. I've shown you guys a lot of different techniques, and I've shown you enough techniques for sure to do one of these pieces yourself if you want. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and finish it up. Pretty much all the techniques I showed you, are the ones I'll be using to finish this whole piece thing up. The only thing is I have these little people that I like to use black paint and this brush to put right here. So I'll do most of the people. I want to put some like little, it's silhouettes of people, so they're done in black. And I want to do some down here in this little bowl down here, which is really a perfume bottle. But I'll show you how to do the little silhouettes of people when we come back in part 4. Also, at that point, I'll be ready to put Jasmine into this whole thing, and I'll show you how all that works out, and then you guys can see how it ends up looking, okay? All right, so I'll see you guys in part 4. Bye!